Hello everyone, warm greetings from Identity Pediatric Dental Clinic. This is Dr. Poojan Kamath, consultant pediatric dentist. So the last time we spoke about the oral hygiene maintenance amongst children concerning infants and toddlerhood. So today I would like to touch upon another important topic about teething. Now teething is a normal physiologic process, and in fact it's a very important developmental milestone where your teeth come out from the bone, penetrate the overlying gums and are placed into the oral cavity. Now this classically happens, the process is initiated anywhere between around 4 to 6 months of age and could go on even till about 20 to 26 months. Now it's a very physiologic process, but since there is a process of penetration through a soft tissue, a local inflammatory process gets initiated. So teething is going to be associated with the cardinal signs of inflammation, that is there's going to be rubor, that is redness, there's going to be change in color, there could be some amount of bleeding, there is going to be some amount of swelling, could also be associated with some amount of pain. Now, being a physiologic process, the most important task at hand for the primary caregivers, especially if you have grandparents in the house, is keeping your mind cool. It is going to be, it could be irritational to some children. They might reject food, they might not, they might have some amount of sleeplessness, some amount of irritability. A very common tendency is to put everything into the oral cavity, could be their toys, because that chewing feeling onto the gum pads gives them some amount of relief. So yes, as a palliative care, you could give your child some teething rings. I personally prefer non-filled rings over filled rings, because liquid filled rings, if there is any rupture and if the liquid is swallowed or aspirated and if it's contaminated with bacteria, it could be a potential source of infection. Also, massaging the gum pads is a very nice way of giving relief to your child. You could contact your pediatric dentist for the use of some teething gels or topical analgesics. Also, few other products there are widespread of products that are available, but some that I personally like, there are mittens with teething pads at the end of it. There are a variety of teething gels available in the market. Also, my personal favorite teether is a carrot. Now, teething generally happens around the time that you are introducing the baby's first food. So, why not a carrot? But it definitely needs to be done under supervision. A cold peeled carrot, just give it in the hands of your child, cut off the narrow, the lower portion, and the thickened stem. You give it in your child's hand and let them bite on it, and the gum pads are definitely not going to be strong enough for the child to take off a chunk of the carrot. So that is a fantastic teether, also gives them an exposure to flavors and textures. A lot of old school thoughts recommend honey dip pacifiers or honey applications onto the gum pad. Not something that I would personally recommend. Honey generally not recommended for children below 1 year because potential source for botulinism. Also, in newly erupted teeth could be a potential source of decay initiation. I would also like to avoid teething necklaces because your child could choke on them, while they roll over. So not a good idea. You could also, there are wide range of teethers that are available in the market. So you could actually go through and see what suits you the best. Now, natal and neonatal teeth is another concept that I would like to discuss in conjunction with teething. Now, there are children who are born with teeth. So they are known as natal teeth, whereas when the teeth erupt within the first 30 days after birth, they are neonatal teeth. So they are commonly your lower front teeth. So there are almost in 90% of the cases, they are your deciduous, that is your milk lower incisors. But in rare cases, they could also be extra teeth or supernumerary teeth. So depending upon the status of these teeth, you along with the pediatrician and the pediodontist needs to take a call whether to retain the teeth, whether to extract them. depending upon the stability of the tooth, the mobility, whether it's interfering in breastfeeding. So all that you need to take a joint decision. There are cases where even these prematurely erupted teeth could cause damage and ulceration on the lower side of the tongue. So all this needs to be communicated with your practitioner. Now, a lot of people who walk into my practice very commonly associate teething with loose stools. So let's break the myth. It is not teething that causes loose stools. It is the contaminated objects that are put into the child mouth that causes the loose stools or diarrheas. So it is your job that while the child is actively teething, you ensure that the child is under supervision, and also ensure that everything around the child is highly clean. So contaminated objects being nibbled all the time could be a potential source of infection which manifests as loose stools. So I hope I've cleared your doubts, and it's really nice communicating to you all. So I'm very much working on my next video. Thank you so much.